Well, I'm off. I'm on my way to the Burlington Air Park to catch a plane with Jody and Doug and a bunch of those guys. We're going to the Poconos. I got Lawmaker tonight. I think Jody's got Sintra. Oh, Dougie must have that good Colt, the Hungry Colt. Stay hungry. Anyway, I think there's 7 or 8 of us on the plane. It should be a good time. It just means that I get back tonight at a reasonable time. Probably back at 1 o'clock in the morning at the Burlington Air Park, and then up tomorrow morning early off to Dresden. Try not to melt in the heat at Dresden. I've driven at Dresden on July 1st weekend many times. I don't think I've ever been there where it isn't the hottest place in the universe. Like rocks melt in Dresden on July 1st weekend. It is crazy, the heat there. Anyway, it should be good racing though. We got 7 in tomorrow. Two Sire Stake horses who are both in tough. They're in tough. Road Tripper and Master Saver. You know, I just hope for the best, I guess. Everybody hopes the same. You know, you got a sure-footed trotter. You're like, oh, we'll go to Clinton or we'll go to Dresden. You know, get some money. That's where everybody is. It's 2 or 3 divisions, but they're tough. Anyway, other than that, it should be fun. Kids are coming down. If I'm not mistaken, there's a exhibition in the parking lot there. They got some rides and stuff, and there's Tim Hortons there, so nobody will die anyway. Well, might melt, won't die. It should be a good day overall though, and we're going to get in the car. Going to be a little tired, I'm sure, after Dresden. We're going to get in the car and drive right to Cleveland, get a hotel, and then race at Northfield. Between Northfield and Columbus, I got a little driving to do during the week. I know at least one day I'm in Scioto, which is Columbus, in the afternoon, and Cleveland, which is 2.5 hours away at night. That's a good 2 and a bit. I think 2.5. So it should be a good time though. So before the break, if you will, we talked about Jason's stable, how Jason left to go to Ohio, and how his why is this thing so rattly? How his horses did this week. Overall. He had an okay week. He had a bunch of horses that missed. Real Willie was great. Sally DeVee won. Boston Glide raced great. Canale Hanover raced good. So a decent week for Jason. He's off to Ohio now with 12, and then 3 more are coming. So they'll have 15. Him and Kirby and someone else, groom they hired down there, will have 15 of them down there. We talked about Lawmaker racing tonight in the Beal, which is 2 days ago for you. Hope we did good. And Cruising in Style won at Yonkers in 55, looked tremendous. Steady's holding his own out in Illinois, and Not an Angel, a little miscue this week. A little bit of driver error, not the end of the world. We'll get them next week. So on to Kevin's stable. So Kevin, we won't talk about the additions. He had a lot of additions. We went from about 14 to 23 horses in one day. So he picked up a lot of horses, few babies. We sent Mo Better down. Mo Better was obviously down with Kevin last week. He's staying there. Who else do you get? Tomorrow's Headline went down to Kevin, and Buckingham went down to Kevin earlier in the week. She's in to go tomorrow at Dresden in her first lifetime start. So she's down there. I think there might be one more. Either way, he's up around 22, 23 horses starting Monday morning. Some of them this week, but mostly Monday morning. So who did he race this week? Artseeker didn't race. He's in to go in Dresden tomorrow, which is yesterday for you. I'm suspicious of him probably winning or being close. We did let his hobbles out, so I mean there's always that chance to make a break. But Artseeker schooled fantastic at Mohawk this week. The changes that Kevin had made to this horse are really, really showing off now. It's a funny horse, you know. Kevin had him racing really good for about 6, 7, 8 starts, and then it's like he turned into a different horse. We needed to strip him down and take a serious look at what we had. It's tough sometimes as a trainer when, you know, the additions that you've made throughout the winter and spring have been very effective, and then all of a sudden the horse switches on you. And, you know, whether the horse is getting better or maybe the horse is getting a little worse, you have to make these equipment adjustments, and in the back of your mind, you're always thinking about the ones you've already made, and it's tough sometimes. Sometimes it's better just to hit the pause button and strip the horse right down and say, okay, let's start from scratch. And I think that's what Kevin did. Made some shoeing adjustments, made some equipment adjustments, let his hobbles out. He looked great the other day schooling. Dresden's a bit of a bull ring, but who knows? Might have some luck in Dresden tomorrow. Beck's Pride, I've been threatening this horse may have to leave for quite some time now. Had we not been going to Dresden, it may have been a reality. But I'm doing my best to try and find a way forward for Beck's Pride, but he's making it really difficult. You know, this is a horse where the breeders had sent us the horse, and one of the breeders had passed away, so there's some sentimental value there. And, you know, I get that, I understand that, but at the same time, you know, he has to be effective for everybody, and he just hasn't been. So we'll try and see if we can get him back on track starting tomorrow. I guess tomorrow's a new day, as they say. So Beck's Pride, we'll see what he has tomorrow. Book the bet. A little bit of a snafu. With the draw dates. Kevin made a mistake and didn't enter. Book the bet, pay the line blue chip, or Art Seeker in the claiming series side of the Sharps Feed stake series. But there's two legs, short field, so I'm sure we can make things up in the second leg, I hope. Unfortunately, they didn't get entered. It happens. We're all human. There's quite a transition, as you can imagine, this week between all the horses leaving for Ohio, Pennsylvania, the horses that had left, horses switching burns. It was a little chaotic. So, you know, not a big deal, not the end of the world. The horses are going to get raced. You know, for the people that had some trepidation, some cold feet about racing Book the Bet in the claiming series, they got a 7-day reprieve. So that's okay. You know, I made my case as far as Book the Bet, and I think it was solid. She'll be in to go next week, as Pay the Line Blue Chip will also, and as Art Seeker will also in the second leg of the Sharps claiming series. Yep, that's no blinker right there. You need the little lights there, the blinker. Yeah, they help. Anyway, so that's that. As far as the fillies go, honest mistake happens. Turn the page and move on. Dancing at Midland raced tremendous last week. Got away at the back. I was a little concerned. If you don't know that horse, he gets put a little step in leaving the gate, and if you grab him up, he's more than happy to take advantage of you, and he'll get away 6th or 7th every time. Got away last, 4 wide in the last turn, finished second, closing her 28-3 on the end of it. Looked great. Obviously, baby steps for Dancing at Midland. He went from potentially being injured to getting better to racing well. Just got photoed out 2 starts ago. I think he's scratching at the door, and he'll likely hit the winner's circle, if not this week, then very, very soon. Who do we got? Facing Justice. Now, I feel bad. I rate these lists down rough. And for the past 3 weeks in a row, not 1 week, not 2, but 3, I forgot to mention Dewey Ann. So Dewey Ann is a nice little filly. Heart of gold, big, huge heart. She has some shortcomings, some shortfalls. A little crooked in her knees. She's pigeon-toed a little bit. She tries her heart out. But first lifetime start, she was 4 wide in London, winning 2-6 last half of a minute in a snow-covered track, and looked great doing it. The problem is, she was starting to get a little sore with the corks on, so we gave her time off, thinking, we'll give her time off, she'll come back great. She really didn't. She come back, how we put her out. A little pinchy in her knees, a little bit off on that left stifle that's still growing. Her knees are still open, her feet bother her. So we had some issues. So, not something I want to do, but I'd sent an email out to everybody and said, listen, I think maybe we're just going to turn her back out, which is frustrating. But here's my take on it. They're going really fast, and the Onwarders are 1 and 2 right now. So getting her to a position where she's going to be effective is going to be hard to do. Racing against those faster horses in the summer is difficult to begin with. And this filly in particular is well bred. To me, she holds some value as a broodmare. Now, a lot of people and I have talked about it. TheStable.ca is not really ready to become breeders, I don't think. But if we were, Dewey Ann is the type of horse I'd want. Now, hopefully, she would pass on the traits we need her to, and not pass on the pigeon-toed feet, and the little crooked knees. But breeding's great, and I'll tell you one thing: pass her heart on, and you'll be doing yourself a world of good. She's tough filly. Loves to work, just struggling right now. So I thought if we gave her time off and brought her back, one, they're going to be slowing down considerably in the fall and winter, and two, if we get to a point where she's just not effective, I would entertain the idea of breeding her, I think, just because I think she's well bred. Two, she did take a mark, even though 2.6, but she took a mark, and she's tough. You know, you want to have horses that are iron tough, and this filly's just that. Listen, we can do some vet work on her, change her shoes, and train her down and get her to the races, but I'm not really comfortable doing that. Secondly, I don't think we'd be getting very far, because I don't think she'd be capable or ready right now to trot in 58, Georgian, 59, 57. So why not give her some more time, let her fill out, become the horse we hope she becomes, and if not, there's other avenues there. There's other bridges we could cross that we can talk about for sure. So that's my take on the Dewey Ann situation. Facing Justice, getting better and better and back into the swing of things. You know, for you guys out there that own him, I know you took a shit kicking. I know I claimed you what appears to be a dud, and we're going to try and claw our way back into the black with this colt eventually, somehow, and hopefully Dresden on Sunday is step one. Pick the win in Dresden. We're going to take full advantage of that if we can. What I saw the other day was a horse that wanted to do it. Just a little short. Couldn't train him up at all in between starts because of the issues he had. Those issues are dissipating. Kevin's got them under control. We did train him up this week. So I'm expecting a good mile at Facing Justice in Dresden. Well, define a good mile in Dresden, I don't know. Stay out of the hospital and get paid would be a good start in Dresden. So, that's what we're going to try and do with Facing Justice on Sunday. Get him back on track. Another horse on a skid. Happy holidays. She has been piss poor since we brought her back. Now, I guess her first start she raced okay. Second start wasn't really her cup of tea. Third start I torched her. And then last week she didn't race well. She had a bit of a rough trip, but didn't race well. She also is in Dresden, so we're going to see if we can't get her back on track in Dresden. Master Saver, I've talked about him. He's in Dresden tomorrow. We got him in the grassroots. Goes for 18 or 19,000. No cakewalk. Got some tough puppies in there tomorrow. As far as like gatekeepers, like run-of-the-mill, good, solid 3-year-old trotters that got some pop to them. There's a number of them down there tomorrow, and Master Saver is going to be in trouble. So hopefully, first and foremost, what we can do is keep them flat. We talk about the trotters, how important that is to do. Keep them flat. See if we can make some other people, or put some other people in tough positions. Maybe they'll make a break, or maybe they'll make a break on their own, or maybe we can beat them fair and square. It's going to be a good race if we can keep Master Saver flat. I know he wants to do his work. We did some vet work on him this week, and he had some real issues that were plaguing him that we got patched up pretty good this week. So Master Saver, not a very favorable racetrack for him, but who knows? Should be a lot better tomorrow. Pay the Line Blue Chip, we talked about her. This was one of the horses that got omitted, that got forgotten about, did not get put in the proper time on Monday. She drew the outside in Georgian on Tuesday. I'll be honest, I don't even know who's driving her. I know Brett McDonald's driving Sally DeVee from the rail in that class, and I'm really not sure who is driving Pay the Line Blue Chip, but she'll do well. She usually does, as long as they don't hurt her and beat her up. She'll be really sharp for next week at Grand River in the second leg of the Sharps Claiming Series. Stonebridge Hall has been racing tremendous, racing really, really well. I was third, I think, with him in 55 the other day at Mohawk. Again, another horse we did some vet work on. Looks much better right now. So he's racing for you tonight. For me, 2 days from now. I think James is driving him. James will suit this horse well. He'll suit anybody well, really. He's just a nice horse. But James will get along really well with him, I believe. Last and certainly not least is my boy Road Tripper. Brett McDonald drove him fantastic last week, closing hard on the end of it, a mile and 58. Dresden, for a big, huge horse like him, probably not very conducive to a favorable outcome, if you will. That long language, what I mean is, it might be a long day for me and Road Tripper. If he stays trotting I expect he'll do well. But that's a tight track for a big boy like him. A lot of you people don't realize how big Road Tripper is. He's one of our biggest horses in the burn, if not our biggest horse. He is a big, big boy. And he's not going to like Dresden Raceway. I shouldn't say that. He busts around our farm for pretty good. He's trained down on a half-mile track, so maybe he'll like Dresden Raceway. Maybe he'll go out and win. I don't know. But I know I like him. I know his employment is not in danger. I like Road Tripper a lot, and I think, I know you know by now, if you watch these videos, I think quite highly of him, and I think he's got a very bright future. So hopefully he can show a little versatility and race on a dirty half-mile track I'm going to talk to you in a minute. Must leave. Hopefully he has some luck in Dresden on a tiny little half-mile track on Sunday. So that's Kevin's barn, or it was Kevin's barn. It's much bigger now. Next week will be a little interesting with all the different stables. We have Harry Polton, whose stable's gathering speed. He won with White Tiger the other night. He has Maintenance Man, who raced tremendous. We're going to talk about him in a minute. We're going to talk about all these babies in a minute. Harry's got a powerful stable this summer. And obviously Ricky McPhee is going to be coming on board and training some horses soon enough. It's going to be a great summer. We have to move everything around because Amy and I aren't there. You know, as you watch the qualifiers, I was down, or Amy was down as trainer and all the babies. Now they're going to their prospective shed rows at the farm to be trained all summer as we go on the road. Probably one of the most fun times of the year. Now, this is what my summer is going to be looking like, racing in Ohio and Pennsylvania and Ontario. And if I can squeak in a day or two where I don't have something planned, maybe sneak out and race one in Illinois. And we have Kentucky. We have a bunch of Kentucky eligible horses also. Then as we gear up for the sales this fall, on September 17th, I head to New Zealand for 12 days. New Zealand, they're going to have us over there and let me talk. So they have me scheduled for 4 appearances, I think, in the island. Probably get 2 and kicked out, I guess. But no, I'm going to go over to New Zealand. Amy and I are going to New Zealand. A huge announcement in just coming in a few weeks, I think. But don't ask me to. Don't say, hey, just tell me in the download what the. I'm not telling you what the announcement is. Huge announcement coming in a few weeks. Amy and I are heading to New Zealand, and then we actually don't fly back into Ontario. We fly right into Lexington 2 days before the sale to go out and look at the horses we've picked out for you. Hopefully, our prospective 2018 fall sale clients. We're going to be working with the app. Some real cool things coming up with the app as far as the sales go, and real-time sales of the horses. It's going to be really cool. So a lot of stuff on the go. We have all this racing, then New Zealand, then the sales, then a stroke, then rehabilitation, and then I should be good for Christmas time. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute. You've got Jason, you've got Kevin. Next week we'll be talking about Harry also. We'll talk about the top. I don't know what I'm going to do this week. Yeah, we'll go top 5 horses right now. No, top 10 horses in the barn. We got 10 deep water horses here in the barn. Horses that I think are legit horses. Top 10 legit horses in the barn right this second. Top 10 horses to watch coming up. We got almost every one of our babies so far qualified. We have 53 in our possession. 9 were turned out. 2 are almost ready to qualify. And everybody else made it onto the qualifiers, made it out of the qualifiers safe. So we now have, I'm going to guess, don't hold me to it, 42 horses qualified out of 53, 9 turned out, 2 knocking on the door, ready to go in a couple of weeks. So that'll just about do it for the racing stables. I'll be back in a minute, give you my top 10 I guess I'm doing this week, and then we'll give a rundown of all the babies we have. Be back soon.